It is wonderful to be with you on this happy Thanksgiving. And what else is possible today? That is my question. So I just wanted to come here and say hello and see if we can get a little, the holiday season is starting. I thought, you know what? Let's kind of kick it off right with a little bit of yummy energy. And here I am in Rome right now. Just finished the European tour with some amazing people and seeing some things change that people have had their entire lives that we're able to get to and unlock now. And I cannot tell you what a gift that is. And what's interesting is some of these things that are changing for people didn't even realize until they started looking at what they would like as their future, what was actually getting in the way. So let's see here. Holiday time is an interesting time in the world, especially for you guys, for us. And it's interesting to have there be, wherever you live, there are probably holiday decorations up already for the next month, until the next year. And it's sort of this time where people kind of go into sleep mode in their heads. But for me personally, I start looking at it and I go, okay, so what can I acknowledge about the last year? What was great about the last year? And what can I have even more gratitude for than I've acknowledged so far? And what would I like to create next year? Not from a conclusion, but I figure we're capable of miracles, but only if we're willing to ask for them. And then, of course, receive them, which is its own story, which is probably the subject of a later live. But if you get for a moment, just get a sense right now, if we're having a live a year from now, if you could have anything change in your life, what are the top 3 things? And what would it be to have them show up? Meaning, what would it be to have them actualize? Like if they could show up, not in a not as much of a particular way, but sort of like if you could wake up having that changed energetically, what would that be like? And maybe that becomes a starting point um, for what you would like, because there's only one person who creates your life, and I think we know who that person is. So, what is it you're capable of choosing that you never imagined? What is it you're capable of choosing and being that no one has ever invited you to? And what if the next year is about you discovering you and what's true for you? And sometimes, ooh, I like that. All of my asks are actualizing instantly lately. I'm amazed with the magic that is available. Boom. Facebook user. You know who you are. We don't. Anyway, um, and so that idea, see, my sense is after Global Bars Day and the Access Global Bars class, where we had thousands of people receiving and gifting bars, was so cool. And the interesting part was there seemed like a rift in the fabric of space time, if you will, afterwards. Something was different. And with a lot of these changes, especially when there are a lot of us involved, you're not sure what's different. Well, I guess that's not even just when there are a lot of us involved. When you change something in your own life, you're not necessarily sure what is different. You just have a sense of it being different. And one of the ways it was described to me is we got a major upgrade in Ask and You Shall Receive. And my sister, for example, was part of Global Bars Day in the Access Global Bars class. She was driving along and she was in a torrential downpour. She was actually coming over to my house afterwards. And she was in this torrential downpour, and she went, "What would it take for this to change now?" And literally 3 seconds later, it stopped, and all the rain stopped. And she texted me and she told me the story. She said, "It seems like we got a major upgrade in Ask and You Shall Receive." So let me ask you this, because with something like that, whether you were part of the bars class, part of Global Bars Day or not, is not the relevant point. But what is the upgrade in Ask and You Shall Receive that has occurred that none of us have actually acknowledged? That if you would acknowledge it, would allow you to ask and receive from and as a different space. Everything that doesn't allow that, times a godzillion, we destroy and uncreate it, please. Right, wrong, good and bad, pod and pock, all nine, shorts, boys, poveds, and beyonds. So what is the upgrade in Ask and You Shall Receive that has occurred that you haven't necessarily acknowledged, that if you acknowledged it, would allow you to ask and receive instantaneously and miraculously? Everything that doesn't allow that, times a godzillion, we destroy and create it, please. Right, wrong, good and bad, pod and pock, all nine, shorts, boys, poveds, and beyonds. So, see, it's kind of like the space in which everything else swims has changed. Like if you could imagine, I don't know, like two different spaces, and we're going to use liquid though, because space has molecules, liquid has molecules. It's just easier to recognize sometimes um, if we use this example. So think about what it's like swimming in wet concrete. Bah. Well, that's what a lot of people are swimming in a lot of the time. And then think about what it's like swimming in the Bahamas, for example, with beautiful corals and fish and dolphins and sharks and amazing life and living all around you. Well, which would you prefer as the space of your life? And what I'm noticing is for the people that will acknowledge it, the space for what's available around us is dynamically different. And I was doing an ESB, these energetic sessions that I'm so grateful that I get to do. And about a year ago, and I talked about now is the space. And before that, for 21 years, I had talked about now is the time. And what showed up was now is the space. And I had this interesting sense that with that change, our asks could show up not only in a different way, but way quicker than we thought. And what's showing up lately is the idea that we're way more potent, way more potent, way more potent, and way more capable of choosing than we have been pretending to be. So what capacity for choice do you have that goes way beyond what you consider normal or real or appropriate, that if you acknowledged it, would allow you to choose everything you desire and more with total ease? Everything that doesn't allow that, times a godzillion, we destroy and uncreate it, please. Right, wrong, good and bad, pod and pock, all nine, shorts, boys, poveds, and beyonds. So while we're doing this, I was blessed 22 years ago to receive this way of working with people called ESB, Energetic Synthesis of Being, which is about regaining access to all the parts of your being that you've left behind in any lifetime. So, what I'd like to do right now is contribute something to you. I'm not even sure what it is, but if you're here watching, I'd like to contribute. So, there. And my sense is this is for giving you a different space, which will hopefully make the next month a lot easier, but also hopefully give you a sense of future that's different than what you may have been living so far. Because the funny part is, it's not the things that things are not the way we think they are. So if somebody can show us, hey, this can be done with lightness, this can be done with space, we will gravitate toward that as often as possible. And that's really what this is about. Okay. And what's interesting is to tap into you all, to perceive you all, and to recognize that there's no separation, no limitation. We invent them, we create them, we buy them. Well, thank you. She said, I get that the next lifetimes will be easier after your contribution. Well, what about this lifetime? What about having so much fun this lifetime? You didn't need to go have another one. I mean, not that you wouldn't choose to have another one, but what if you didn't have to? What if you could enjoy this one so much and be so grateful to be here that this was the place in space where you thrived in a way you can't imagine possible? Everything that doesn't allow that times a godzillion, right, wrong, good, bad, all nine, pod, poc, shorts, boys, povads, and beyonds. Whew. Thanks for those of you that made it here, by the way. I do realize it wasn't the most well publicized nor easy to find thing, but I'm grateful you chose to be here with me. Thank you. And here's my other question is what contribution are you that nobody's ever acknowledged? That now is actually the space to be. Whew. Everything that doesn't allow you to perceive, know, be, and receive it, we destroy it and create it, please. Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine, shorts, boys, povads, and beyonds. Wow. So, what contribution and gift are you that nobody's ever acknowledged you to be? Whew. That if you allowed yourself to acknowledge it, would allow you to have total ease, joy, and glory. Right, wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine, shorts, boys, povads, and beyonds. So I have to also acknowledge this thing we have in access consciousness. All of life comes to me with ease and joy and glory. It is a way of changing anything. Also, everything is the opposite of what it appears to be. Nothing is the opposite of what it appears to be. Why do I have these StreamYard banners on here? That's crazy. What is going on? StreamYard is like taking over my whole thing. I don't want a StreamYard overlay. There. So, whoa, what space of ease, joy, and glory can you now be that allows you to be unfathomable to everyone intent on maintaining this reality? Everything that doesn't allow that times a godzillion, we destroy and create it, please. Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine, shorts, boys, povads, and beyond. So may one more time, what space of ease, joy, and glory can you now be that will change everything for you and your reality? Everything that doesn't allow it times a godzillion, we destroy and create it, please. Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine, shorts, boys, povads, and beyonds. So, a couple of things. One is write down everything you're grateful for about you and everything over the last year. Poof, might give you a different perspective. And then, what If I could have anything show up in the next 13 months, what would it be? And get the sense of it rather than the thing like, oh, I would like this much more money. I would like, get the sense of the way it would be to have the change rather than the specific thing that is often a limitation. Get the sense of the way it would be to have that or greater show up. In other words, to have this thing change, to have it transform into space. See, that's your miraculousness. Not asking for, because I mean, look at it. How many times have you gone, oh, I need this much money as a solution to your quote unquote money problem? That then doesn't show up and then you judge you. Instead, get the sense of having the life and living you truly desire. In the aspects of money, business, creation, relationship, sex, body, living situation. And when you get the sense of the limitation, go, who the fuck does this belong to? And pock and pod, when I bought this is mine when it wasn't. What I'm asking you to do is get the sense of possibilities beyond the limitation and then ask for it. Get the sense of it and go, hey, I'm asking for this. Dear universe, dear consciousness, please help. I'm willing to have this no matter what it looks like. I'm willing to have this no matter what it takes. And then see what shows up. When I do these things, my whole reason for doing it is to contribute to you. What if you'd allow yourself to receive that contribution? Acknowledge that it's being gifted. And maybe use that as an acknowledgement that at least one person on this planet is gifting to you, not asking, desiring, or requiring anything in return. And maybe that will allow you the space to start recognizing that there might be others also that you haven't acknowledged. And also, please recognize you can't give indefinitely without receiving. And a lot of us try. We think if I can just give enough, then these people will receive and they'll get that I'm a gift and then they'll be happy. Or they'll get that I'm a gift and they'll stop judging me. But if you've been giving and giving and giving and they haven't gotten that you're a gift, they haven't stopped judging you, they haven't stopped abusing you, stop giving to those people. I know that sounds weird. I know it sounds like the exact thing I'm not supposed to say. But what if instead you start gifting to you? Gifting to you the awareness of the gift of you that you keep thinking if you can change them, you'll get to be that gift. What if you are that gift right now? What if you started acknowledging it? So, what gift are you that you're not acknowledging because others won't validate it? Everything that is times a godzillion, will you just run and create it, please? Right, wrong, good and bad, pod and pock, all nine, shorts, boys, povets, and beyonds. Thank you. You guys are awesome. I love it. Did you just call my friend Dain an idiot? Yes, I did. So, what gift are you that you've been pretending not to be or denying that you are? Because stupid people don't seem to get it. Everything that is times a godzillion. And everywhere you would rather see you as not a gift rather than see how stupid they are. And by stupid, I mean stupid, unaware, unwilling to receive, unwilling to change, unwilling to have that there's a gift in their midst. We just run and create it all, please. Times a godzillion, right, wrong, good, bad, all nine, pod, poc, shorts, boys, povets, and beyond. So what gift are you that you're not acknowledging? Because stupid people won't validate it. And everywhere you didn't validate you rather than acknowledge that they're stupid, We destroyed and created all place. Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine, shorts, boys, poveds, and beyonds. And you may go, Dr. Dain, how can you say they're stupid? It's like calling a red rose red and a white rose white. Don't have a judgment. But if you're not willing to see where you're doing everything you can to contribute and be a gift, and somebody else is hanging back, like refusing to receive, judging you still. Let's put it this way: if somebody is judging you and holding on to judgment, they're stupid. They're not a contribution to this world. Stop trying to change them. If you've been doing it for any length of time and they're not changing, stop trying to change them. I have a solution though. Be happy anyway. No matter what, I'm going to be happy whether they change or not. Because us trying to change people who don't desire to change is not only an invalidation of us, it's an invalidation of them. Let's be an allowance of their choices. Interesting point of view. I have this point of view. Interesting point of view. They have this point of view. Interesting point of view. I have this point of view, that they have this point of view. And when you do, what you'll do is you'll start to have this sense of kindness for you, which will also allow you to have a kindness for them. And in that kindness for both of you, you become a different space that won't allow you to diminish you based on somebody else's point of view any longer. Okay, my beautiful friends, I hope this has been a contribution, and may you have the happiest Thanksgiving so far. And I do realize that most of you are probably even not in the United States, but I figure a day that is named for thanks, even though some people in the US call it the Takesgiving, but that's a story for another time. Just thank you. Thank you for being. And I am so grateful you were in this world, and I hope this holiday season you start to recognize what a gift you are. And what if you, truly being you, with the sense of the gratitude, the space, the difference, the joy, the yumminess, the enthusiasm you actually are the gift, the change, and the possibility this world requires. Thank you for being my beautiful friends. I look forward to being with you again soon. Happy Thanksgiving! Mwah!